And back by popular demand. It has been a while, but we are back. Good morning. It's still 11:30. Good morning. How are you doing? We have a lot to get into. It's going to be a packed weekend of sports. We have the UFC on slate. We got women's tournament. We got the men's tournament. We got spring training baseball. We got all of that ready for you guys today. Coming fresh off the hospital bed, all cut up. His knees have been sliced and diced. Our host, and I'm Tomas Greer, our host, the professional gambler, Joel Wachowski.
Hello, world. It is me, the professional gambler, coming to you from the haze of painkillers. How are we? I am getting ready to return to the court. They tell me, Joel, you got arthritis. Joel, your knees are 50 years old. But that won't stop me from going out there and being the Bill Lambier of Bushwick, shutting people down, being a pest, because that's what I do best. In addition to playing ball, it's talking ball. And joining me is Tomas Greer. You see him rocking FC Barcelona, and Oakland days. Kind of looks like you don't know what city you're from.
Tomas. I'm from Queens.
Yeah, okay. That's why you're dressed like the guy from Coming to America. No, but we are doing good here. Toe said I don't understand fashion. I mean, that's true. Hey.
I like the ensemble little number you have on today. The stripes and the navy, it compliments. I like it.
Yeah.
What color are the stripes? Are they burgundy?
It's kind of like an olive and blue with gray and then like the blue Kango. So I think it's all kind of like neutral blue.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm doing all right today. For an old dorky white dude, I do okay.
Yeah, not bad. All right. You want to get into the action?
Let's get into this. Where do we want to start today? Because, I mean, obviously there's easy things coming up the pipeline. I think there is kind of a no-brainer just to start the day off. So maybe we kick it there with.
Well, let's start with what we missed, actually. The free agency.
We missed NBA free agency. We don't have any lower thirds for that, unfortunately. NBA trade deadline, rather. But
trade deadline.
Yeah,
right.
Before we got on air, I mean, we can talk about this in the paradigm of Chicago versus San Antonio tonight. Because the Bulls, they probably made the biggest acquisition at the trade deadline. They got Nikola Vucevic, who is 30 years old, and he's one of those guys. You never quite know his age, you know? He could be 45. We wouldn't know it. And really, I think you're kind of pairing him with Zach LaVine. They're making a run at this right now. And I didn't know how I felt about the move, but a few days later, I come to find myself in favor of it. You're rewarding yourself for being a little competent. Yeah, it kind of locks into the 8th seed, but, I see a core of Vucevic, LaVine, pairing him with the young, promising Patrick Williams and sliding Markkanen over to be the ace of your second unit. I don't mind that. Is that okay?
I mean, we had this conversation offline. I told you. I think it's a good move for the Bulls, but I don't see the end game for them in this situation. Like I told you, for me, I want to win now. And for example, if the Knicks would have done something like this, I wouldn't be that happy with it. I would rather them take what they have now, go into the playoffs off season, and add somebody else rather than add Vucevic, just lose.
Yeah, but having two all-stars right now, they are kind of the template where maybe they are a player away. They have that kind of like top-heavy structure there. And, having two premier end-game scorers with kind of complementary skill sets, it certainly beats what was in the cupboard before.
True. I agree. And, I mean, honestly, if they can attract a third star, I mean, I don't know how sexy Chicago would be to the free agents this year, but I think they could build something, but the age on Vucevic, I don't know. It's just like it's such a question mark. We'll really have to see how it plays out. That's honestly how it's going to have to go.
Yeah, but it's not like he's exploding and challenging the limitations of human capabilities. He's a guy who's very skilled. He's a good passer. He's a good shooter. He gets good positioning on rebounds and
But how often does that win you a championship though? Almost never.
Up until about 2010, a little bit, pretty often.
No, I'm talking about now. Like the game now is about athleticism and explosiveness. Like
Yeah, but
before, you could get away with like a Pau Gasol kind of player. Now you probably won't win with that kind of guy.
yeah, but I mean, if we go to the end of last season, I mean, Anthony Davis was the best player in the finals. The Western Conference Finals was a show between, Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic. In the East, we saw Bam Adebayo kind of single-handedly send the Boston Celtics home. So
Okay, yeah,
the
but
big
like
man is back.
it's it is, but it also matters what you pair around it. Like it's not fair to compare Anthony Davis and LeBron James to.
But I get that you want to have the most talented roster and compete for rings, but there is something to assembling a competent basketball team. And if I'm entering a series and Levine is my number one scorer around the perimeter, I gotta admit, like, Levine fits that role. If my second star is Vucevic, I'm cool with that. And then if I can just throw Patrick Williams at their best, like, playmaker offensively and kind of disrupt their flow, I'm kind of good with going to war with that.
Okay, I mean, I I really don't see them overtaking Philly,
No, absolutely
Brooklyn.
not. No, no chance.
Who else is there? Even Boston. I think Boston. Like I don't see any of the top teams being afraid of Chicago. Chicago's a stepping stone. They're gonna fight for eighth place, in my
Hey,
opinion.
absolutely. But this is the best basketball team they could possibly be this year. Vucevic will be good for another 2 years, and you're betting like you want to have this in place in case Patrick Williams becomes Ron Artest 2.0. I could absolutely see that from him. So I
Let's
think
let's there's another team that I think made amazing move. Like I think they had the best trade deadline, in my opinion.
was
Pat
it
Riley,
Denver?
Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. I think them being able to pull off all the things they did without giving up Tyler Hero is remarkable. Like that's
Sure, but I mean, can we admit that that is so they got Victor Oladipo,
yes.
and this was made possible by Victor Oladipo flirting with the Miami Heat organization publicly for what is it, 4 seasons now?
I mean, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. Like, I don't know what he was doing with them, but like, what did they give up? I think they gave up Kelly Olynyk. First of all,
Kelly Olynyk,
they got rid of a racist in like within this period. They got rid of Kelly Olynyk. They got rid of some other bums, and they got like two former All Stars out of this.
who's the second former All Star?
Aldridge.
Oh yeah, Aldridge he was a
He bought
buyout
out.
guy though.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like they got him that day though. I'm saying they got him in this period.
Yeah, and I mean it's the Heat. They probably have better training staff. That rotation's going to be a nightmare, and you know what? They kind of need the reinforcements. I am a big believer in the schedule being unfair to these teams who went on a run last year. But to catch you up to speed, Oladipo's been linked to Miami for about 4 years now. Like he kind of drove his trade value down, and injuries did have a part of this to the point where he didn't cost that much. And I am a little bit concerned about his shooting percentages. Like, do you want Victor Oladipo, or are you better off just seeing what Kendrick Nunn becomes over the course of a season? Because they do have a lot of really talented young guards. And while I like the acquisition, I don't want to get in the way of those guys developing.
I mean, I'll take both. I'll take them all. I will if I can have Kendrick Nunn, if I have Victor Oladipo and Tyler Hero, I will take all three of them. And if I can keep Duncan Robinson, I'm gonna keep all of them.
Absolutely. But
Depth is important, especially now.
I think it's important they play Victor Oladipo about 24 minutes a game, not anything
I mean,
36.
that's fine. I think as long as they all produce in the time they get, I don't think they're gonna win the East, but I think they will be a fun team. See, actually, now I'm going back to my point of I don't think they'll win, but I think they can compete. Like last year, nobody expected them Miami to fucking do what they did, and look what happened.
Yeah, but also a big thing of what they have going that down there is chemistry, and adding another lead horse in Oladipo, like it might just take away like
I don't see that. I don't see him like stepping on. Jimmy Butler runs the show. Everybody knows that.
absolutely he does, but I think their ceiling's a little bit low. I think the top 3 in the East is pretty firmly set at the moment, and it's going to be hard for them to break into that group. We know what the Eastern Conference Finals are right now. Like,
I
nothing
mean,
changes that.
this is the same shit I was hearing last year. And what did Miami do?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Miami.
what did they do? Like, if we had brackets, they would have been fucked. That's
I
what
mean,
happened.
last year I made so much money on the Miami Heat. I bet on them against Milwaukee. I bet on them against Boston. I rode them all the way there. They saved my playoffs from what was truly a gambling debacle. They single-handedly turned it around for me.
Yep. I
So I
mean,
appreciate that. Should we get into today's games?
sure, let's do it.
We've been going. So, yeah, I mean, let's start with the women's March Madness. We have the round of 16. We have UConn hosting Iowa, I suppose. And UConn, I mean, it's 15 and a half points. They that their average margin of victory, even against top 25 ranked opponents this season, is well within that margin.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
You
yeah,
got to back UConn here.
I agree. I think. Well, first let's start with the star matchup. Everyone's watching this because of the freshman matchup between Clark and Beckers. I think it'll be fun, but college basketball isn't really like a one like I'm catch you on an island 101. It's not that kind of thing. Like, but I think it'll be fun to see how those two specifically perform. But obviously, UConn, I think they're gonna win by a landslide.
Yeah, and I think there's just if UConn's getting less than 20 before the Final Four, I think you just have to jump on that, right?
Yeah, I
That
agree.
I had UConn last week and they covered 41 and a half against a pretty able squad. So yeah, 15 and a half, I feel very comfortable with that. $20, I am on it.
Yeah,
So
I
should
don't.
we
I also don't think Iowa's played. They didn't play them this year. I don't think so. This is gonna be like a culture shock for fucking Iowa to go against UConn.
Yeah, I think so a little bit. But hold on, let me get the tabs going for all from our next thing. So you want to talk a little bit about that's the wrong thing. My bad. But yeah, I think there is kind of a crossover appeal in women's college basketball. It is kind of like the men's college basketball up until the 90s, so it's really fun to pay more attention to that.
Agreed.
Yeah, so let's talk about the first game. I think I am the only hater. I am the only person who feels this way. I hate Sister Jean. I am all over Oregon State right now, and you know what? I I think they're pretty good value actually. Them getting plus 7 points against a Loyola team from a worse conference, like there's reasons to really like that. What do you think, Toe?
Uh, I was very impressed with Loyola's defense last game. They were able to just completely shut down Illinois. I took Loyola on the money line. You're making me scared the way you're talking about it, but yeah, I'm rolling Loyola here.
But like as Loyola has given some like pretty notable ass kickings last week against Illinois, and I thought that loss was a little bit on Illinois. I thought their guards were a little bit flustered by
Yeah,
Loyola's pressing defense. Yeah, they played well, but Illinois, I certainly expected them to handle that better.
I did too. I mean, they every time I looked up, they would turn the ball over,
And certainly on the other side of the coin, like Loyola,
and they also couldn't stop like this grandfather. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Credwick. What's his?
yeah, I mean,
Like
and
ridiculous.
Loyola's freaking center, man, that ugly
Yeah,
bonehead.
him. That's what I'm talking about. It's that guy.
Yeah, a pierogi turned into a person and is playing at center for Loyola. Jesus Christ, the Chicago police force rolled into one particular individual. What an ugly man. You could you could build a log cabin in the place between his mustache halves.
What is his name?
I mean, his name
Cameron
is,
Credwick. Credwick. That's his name.
I
Cameron
believe
Credwick.
it's Igor Pierogi Eater the Third. Man,
Dude,
I get to be so mean
he's ugly
about.
as fuck, but he got moves. He was busting What's his name? Cockburn.
Coburn. It's got to be
Oh,
Coburn. It's totally
Coburn.
Cockburn, but they won't let you. They won't say it that way.
They were
Like
fucking. He was fucking him up. I was like, yo.
yeah, I mean, he had himself a game last week, but on the other side of the coin, Oregon State, they've been lighting people up all the way through to this Pac-12 tournament. They won that thing. They won both their games last week with a pretty wide margin, and they're getting 7 points. And like, I think this is a very close matchup. So I think I really like getting 7 points on Oregon State here. We put in the spread incorrectly. It's 7, not 2. I will say that. So I think there's better value than we are actually showing here. But
Oh yeah, it is. I don't know why the fuck I put 2.
Hey, it's 7s and 2s. They look alike. We put this together in a rush. You said you were sleepy. That's perfectly okay. But
That's not what I said.
That's kind of what you said.
I said I was flustered or like my brain scrambled because I just came from the gym and I'm hungry. But let's keep it going.
Yeah, so I like Oregon State there. The 7 points is too good for me. I also like the under there. It's 135. I just see there's a lot of money on that, and it's still not the majority of the bets. So that's an algorithm I look for. So I am interested in that. See, I will pull that up for you. You want to see the total? You want to see the percentage of money? And the biggest difference on the board today is, yeah, you see 40% of the bets, 74% of the money for the under of 125. So seeing that metric, I am going to roll with that. And so do you want to roll into
Next game?
Yeah, next game. Which is it time-wise? And
Villanova.
another one that fits it perfectly. It's Villanova versus Baylor. Baylor is a 7.5 point favorite, and you can see that they are getting. It's another whale tail, right? The difference in the money. You see that Baylor 35% of the bets, yet 78% of the money. And I gotta say, of the things that I feel like I truly feel like I learned about the NCAA tournament last week, paramount among them is that Baylor is an awesome basketball team.
Yeah, they are good. I honestly didn't watch too many games of them this year until last week, and I was like super impressed. They can just score at ease.
Yeah, tremendous athletes, tremendous pace of play. They just looked fan-friggin-tastic. In respect to Villanova, they also just looked awesome last week. Yeah. But maybe we'll see a couple favorites romp here, so I'm going to ride with Baylor.
Yeah, same. I also grabbed pick Baylor in this one.
Okay, so there's a couple. I took 2 favorites. I took 2 underdogs today. How about you?
I took all favorites, I think. Oh, I did one money line of just Oral Roberts because who doesn't love a good Cinderella story? But I took all favorites.
Should we?
Who are the underdogs you took? Oh, you took.
I took this next one. Bring up our next one.
No. Before this though, you took.
Oregon State. Oregon? I love them.
All right, next.
And then I like Oral Roberts. 11 points is a huge spread in March Madness, round of 16. Yeah, we'll give it a go. Why not? Throw a few shekels out there on that on that plus 11. How?
I mean, I don't know. I think Oral Roberts would keep it close, honestly.
Exactly.
Their strength is in their offense. So
we've seen these guys score points all throughout this tournament. I don't think they're going to be scared. I don't think they're going to be any trepidation in them running their offense. So yeah, plus 11 there. That's an awesome value, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good bet. But I don't know. I'm really like, this is the one game I am like, I am undecided on who I think will actually win. As I said, I picked the fucking money line Oral Roberts. But for what is their over under?
The over under in this one, I will pull it up for you right now. It's 157. So there's going to be a lot. They think
Yeah,
there will be a
yeah,
lot of points
a lot of
scored in
scoring.
this
Yeah,
one. I'm
actually,
also
Arkansas got some dogs. They got some dude. They got like three guys who average like 15. I think
Yeah, and
I've seen it.
I mean, Moody's an awesome player. He's going to be
Yeah,
a lottery pick. He's cementing his status. So, I mean, there's no question who the best player in this game is, but Oral Roberts, they can score with anybody. If you want me to bring that up, I will bring that up. You can see that's where the under is right there, 159 and a half. I'm on the under because it just seems like that's where the money is. 38%, 70% again. And so we have one more March Madness game. Is that it? We have
last one of the
Syracuse
night.
versus Houston.
Yeah, this is. I think honestly, this is another good one. Another Cinderella here.
Oh, with Syracuse, you can't have Syracuse be
Hell yeah,
be a
bro! They
Cinderella.
suck. Yes, they are trash. They
they
shouldn't be here. The
they
fuck?
suck enough, but they've been here every time.
All right, but like no, they shouldn't have won either of the last two games they played. Fuck.
But yet they did, and here they are against the Houston Cougars. Phi Slamma Jamma reincarnated, baby. And we see they're getting 6.5 points. I just I think the Houston Cougars, they're kind of like the Milwaukee Bucks. They'll beat you when they will kick your ass, like close games are not in their favor, so they want to beat you by 10 or more. So I think that's going to be in the cards for the Houston Cougars tonight.
Yeah, I got Houston in this one.
Yeah,
I do like Boheim's son. I like his name, but Buddy Boheim. But I do not. I don't. I don't think Buddy's getting it tonight.
All right. I mean, I get it. And are you excited for this, Toe? I've got some NBA picks.
Well,
I
let's do it.
like the New York Knicks getting 9 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. They've got size. They've got so much size. What the Knicks do well, it goes so well with what Milwaukee does well. So I expect him to keep it close. They're fresh-legged against Milwaukee on a back-to-back. I love this line. See?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little afraid. The Bucks scare me. The Bucks played last night. Yeah, they did, and they lost. I don't know. Do you think Giannis is gonna play? I feel like every day I keep fucking dealing with this. Like, if a player played the day before, they're fucking not gonna play them the next day. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah, people they're doing the back-to-back rest on the front end, and it's really screwing me up. Dallas
Yeah,
does that with Luca a lot.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah, they
It also
always
depends who they're playing. It depends who they're playing too, because they'll like say they're playing like the Grizzlies the first game, they'll rest them that game and then play them the second game.
Yeah, it's unfair, and they're doing it a lot, especially because we're seeing a lot of back-to-backs, and I'm not really prepared for how long this NBA regular season is going on. Right? It's going on
Yeah,
till May
till May.
15th. That's
Yeah,
insane. You
I mean,
couldn't give
it started late though.
It did. It started kind of late, not as late as the players needed it to start. They still moved it up a month. These guys are bananas. And then, so yeah, I like the Knicks there. I think it's a lot. And I also like the Clippers against the 76ers. There's still no Embiid. I kind of like the Rondo acquisition for the Clippers. They need kind of a coach on the floor, right? They need someone
Honestly,
to.
I didn't like the move. I think I don't like the move because I feel like they could use more spread offense than Rondo can give them. And I also think that Kawhi and Paul George are equipped enough to maybe they don't have that voice. I don't think you're right. You're right. They don't have a voice, but I think they can handle the ball.
Yeah, but I also think like Lou Williams expects touches, and they're probably better off not having Lou get those touches. Like
Yeah.
they've got Kawhi. He's one of the best ISO players in the leagues. That's also true of Paul George.
It's just like if the Clippers are expecting to get the Rondo that they had that was on the Lakers, I don't think they're gonna get that. I think obviously the offensive and like the rest of the players are just different. But
Yeah, but they also have they have a Lou Williams on the roster still. Like Reggie Jackson can create his own shot as your second unit point guard. It's more important that they get something different in Rondo because they don't have like a great person to guard those point guards. If you have someone who can just I don't know, give that effort and make things difficult for the Steph Curry, the James Hardens of the world. That helps the rest of their roster perform a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is another trade that like guys have to wait and see. I feel like we've seen Rondo in every single facet. We've seen Rondo at his worst, like on the Mavs. We've seen him at his best in those Boston years. Even last year was like kind of at his best. But it's like you never know who the fuck's gonna show up when Rondo comes to a team.
And God bless him for that. You know, mean old Rondo. You never know
Yeah.
what you're just a venomous old snake. And then last piece of value I like in the NBA today, Wizards. They're against the Pistons on a back-to-back. How about Plumlee? He crossed someone. He pulled it back. He sent them sprawling and then yammed it home.
That was the most uncoordinated shit I've ever. And I don't know if Bruce Brown tripped over Jeff Green or if he got caught by the ball fake. It was like I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this?
Hey, anytime a Plumlee pulls off a highlight play, we are celebrating on this show. Good for him.
What was I gonna say? Apparently back in the day, Meg said she had the biggest crush on Marshall or on Mason Plumlee, and now every time I see him, I like send her a photo of him, and she's like, "Oh, like I don't like him anymore." I'm like, "Well, you told me this, bitch. I will never forget."
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like Gabby with Pat Connaughton. So our gals, they like those backups.
Yeah, the trash white dudes.
I mean that makes sense for me. So do you got any UFC for me? Who are we taking tonight? You got 3 picks for me, Toe, right?
We do have some UFC picks. Actually, we'll start from the bottom. So we'll start with Sean O'Malley. Are you familiar with Sean O'Malley? You probably heard of him.
He's a wild-looking guy, right?
Yeah, he's a guy with like rainbow hair. Yeah. So Sean O'Malley, he's coming off a loss, but he was injured in the loss. I think he's Dana White's boy. Like you know how fight promoters have their favorites. I think he's one of Dana's favorites, and I think they're throwing him a bone. So if you want to go money line on this one, definitely go Sean O'Malley. I really don't know a lot about Thomas Almeida. This is exactly why I think they're throwing him a bone.
So maybe you tie the other picks to O'Malley.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I've every part. Well, but there's the dangerous part because if he fucking loses, all my picks are gonna be fucked. But yeah. So the value would be in tying O'Malley to your other picks. Let's move on to the next one. We got Tyron Woodley versus Vicente Luque. Tyron Woodley, the former welterweight champion, he's on like a 3-fight loss streak, which I think has some value because I think this one he might turn around. Every time he fights, I'm like, he might turn around, and he never does. But right now he's kind of like in that gatekeeper position where Vicente Luque is a young guy coming up, and he has to get past Tyron Woodley. So I think he might upset Luque tonight. I'm not sure. This is why I have like 3 parlays with one of each fighter.
So you want to tie Woodley to O'Malley for like a plus 300?
Woodley to O'Malley. You could do either or. Woodley to O'Malley or this is the fight that's a toss up. Like I know O'Malley's gonna win. I do not know if Tyron Woodley or Luque will win this fight. That's what I don't know.
Okay, so you take one here. You don't want to go huge on O'Malley. Throw the whole wad on there because that'll be after March Madness. If we have a good day in March Madness, we could throw 500 at that and make like 150. So that could be the play.
Yeah, if you get those winnings early in the basketball, throw it on O'Malley because he's gonna take care of business.
Okay, so I'll do that, and then maybe I'll just take a flyer on. I'll put like $10 on Woodley plus O'Malley, and then that'll be that.
Yep, and we have one more.
Because I'm at like 360 in my account right now. So
360 like to bet?
Yeah, I have like 100 out there on UConn and March Madness and a couple over unders.
Wait, do you put 100 on the spread?
No, I put 20
on the spread.
Yeah, I've got like 6 $20 bets out, 6 or 7.
Okay. I put 50 on the spread, so hopefully I'm praying. This is gonna be the one time they fucking like. They have a close game.
It might be. I mean, there's some star power on the other side of the coin. So, how about in the main event? You got anything for this bad boy?
In the main event, the title for the title of baddest man on the planet, heavyweight championship, Miocic versus Ngannou. I think this actually probably has the most the most value on this card. Steve Miocic, like I mentioned earlier, Tom Brady this past playoffs, Tom Brady was like bet against every single game, and he easily won every game except the fucking Washington football game. I think Miocic is in that same position, and he's the underdog for whatever reason, but I think he's going to win pretty handedly. The only way he won't win is if Francis catches him.
There we go, and that's good money there too. Him being plus money as like with his resume.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was asked about it yesterday in the press conference. He's like they do this to me every fight. I don't understand why, but he's like, I'm not worried about it. Just watch and see.
Well, Stipe, it is, and like the real gamble with betting on UFC is knowing whether or not you'll be able to find a Reddit stream. That is always the difficult part.
Ever since like this year, so I don't know. There was like a press conference early in the year. Dana said that they were gonna lock down. They were like crunch down on it, and they did. You can still stream, but it's just very difficult now. It's like people will ask me to find them stream, and I'll do it, and then it'll just go out, like it won't work. But I usually buy it, so fuck me. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you love it. You can't miss it, and you have all the fighters coming over. You make it a big party, so.
Yep, it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited. I'm excited to see Sean O'Malley, honestly.
All right, well, I'm gonna house Sean O'Malley then at your advice.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, so that's the play. Sean O'Malley, then sprinkle a little bit on the good odds.
There's also another guy that you should probably tie in. He's gonna win for sure. Nurmagomedov. He fights in the prelims.
So what's a Madoff O'Malley parlay?
What do you mean?
What's a parlay of Madoff and
Nurmagomedov and O'Malley and what was it, Luque? Or no, Woodley was the other guy.
No, just take your sure things.
Okay, let me see what that would give me.
I'm pulling that up right now. So
O'Malley, Nurmagomedov.
I see a minus 330 right here.
Well, mine says minus 121. Oh, no, O'Malley's minus 330. Yeah, he's minus 330. And then Nurmagomedov is minus 250.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Versus Jared Gooden.
Yeah, that's a good bet. Put $100 on that, get a 85 back. It's not bad.
That's exactly what I'll do. Should I do it?
You should do it.
I'm sharing this. This won't be one of those. This will be one of those. Tomas doesn't go around after the fact saying he doesn't do it.
Nope. This is the one.
This is the one. There we do it. There we see it, and then I will roll with $20 onto each of those underdog picks later on. You only live once. Let's have some fun here gambling today.
Let's do it.
Bang, bang, bang. Well, that is the show for today. We had a good one. Maybe I should get started. I turned the wrong person.
You're back.
All right. Well, we will be back tomorrow around the same time, you think?
Yep. I am free all day. No women here to deter me.
Cool. Well, I'm sorry about you got all those awful women who I love very much bothering you. So I hope you can find peace with that.
True.
All right. This is until next time. For Tomas, for David Wade off there. This is Joel Walkowski failing to walk off.
Crawl.